So as a journalist, you're sitting there going, I want to get this information because I want the governed to know, and they should. There are times when I can't get information from state agencies because we're trying to build policy and make Texas and hopefully the United States a better place. So I feel that with y'all. I'm honored, and I have been honored, Donna's, to be named Champion of Transparency by the Texas Press Association, who is a member of this esteemed group. And I was recognized for work in passing legislation ensuring that Texas can obtain statistics on transmission rates, like I talked about, in communicable diseases in healthcare facilities. I mentioned that what happened in those long-term facilities can never happen again. Because you know why? People were trying to make decisions for their loved ones. I remember the conversation that I had with the daughter of Mrs. Duck. Mrs. Duck, I grew up going to K&G Steakhouse, and she was one of the waitresses there. I sat on my couch, and for an hour and 47 minutes, I listened to the horrific story that her daughter told me about how confused her mother was, that she couldn't go in and see her. And this was at the very facility that we couldn't obtain that information. Again, we have to have that kind of information. And I will tell you that it was people like you in this room that drove me. Sometimes lawmakers say, I know something's wrong, but how should we craft this bill? And your input was invaluable on that. And Donna, to you and to the rest of you, the foundation, thank you for your input on that. So I will say that journalists obviously needed help during that time, and we took a stand. I'll state the obvious. Some of you in this room are Democrats, and some of you, maybe, are Republican. Others are independent. And the point I'd like to make today is that we all benefit by a transparent government. We can all agree on that basic fact if we are striving to truly improve public policy. We may disagree on the right solution, but no matter your political approach, the public good directly benefits from public information. I'm a state senator. I've been a state representative. Most of the journalists and our public policy advocates are here to do good. And we are living in a politically volatile time in Texas and in our nation. Whether it was COVID or how Texas is addressing the border crisis or the upcoming debate over public education or the hundreds of other political debates filling our days, we as Texans and Americans seem to be stifled by public skepticism. One of the remedies for skepticism must be to increase the pursuit of public information, to knock down the walls between the government and the governed, to not fear what that information may reveal to the public. Give them that information. They will make good decisions. I want y'all to know that I make my staff track every email and every phone call. Andrea over here is smiling. Chris G is smiling. I drive them crazy about that. What does the public say? What is the feedback that we are receiving? Actually, during the impeachment trial, I stayed late one night by myself working in the office, and the phone rang. 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. Now, my staff doesn't know this, but I answered the phone call every time it rang. Senator Kolkhorst's office. And I listened. And I listened. And I listened. And then at the end I said, well, I'm so glad that you called. This is Senator Kolkhorst. And I appreciate, and it wasn't always about the trial. It might have been about something else. I think they thought they were just going to be leaving a voicemail, right? But listening to the people and giving them their information is very important. To navigate the maze of our state and federal agencies and court systems, Bill, we must have information. So our future is built on the bedrock of free speech and a transparent government. And the people in this room have a common goal to promote the free flow of information. And with that free flow of information, we can foster an honest discourse and debate and work on improving our republic. The people in this room are the connective tissue, the membrane, if you will, that link and connect the people to their government, to see that the government still honors its social contract to pursue the public good, not to manipulate the public, but rather the public good. I'm here today not only to discuss government transparency, but to say thank you to everyone in this room. What you do matters. What I do matters. And what we have done together certainly matters. To the young journalists in the room, I was trained a long time ago. I don't know if they still train this in journalism school. Who, what, when, where, and to what extent. Try to get that in your lead. And the inverted pyramid. And if you want to put your opinion in an article, write an op-ed. Report the facts. That's what you're supposed to do as a journalist. It's harder and harder to do. Lauren, you do it in like how many words on a tweet? Short. I mean, my journalism teachers would be flipping if they knew what it would eventually become. You know, I'm arguing over my e-newsletter with one of my campaign staffers right now, because I'm just going to send it out about the amendments. It's going to be kind of dry, but you know, my introductory part, I just wanted it short and sweet. And this particular staffer was like making it long, and I go, nobody's attention is there anymore. Nobody really wants to get to that information, right? So to you young journalists, who, what, when, where, and to what extent in an inverted pyramid, talk to me in the 1980s, it's still applicable. And if you want your opinion in that article, write an op-ed. So I want to say that we have more public information bills that we need to file and strive for it.